is a very difficult concept in the Trinity. You know, we all have an image of what God is, even though we can't see God. We see God as that great, awesome, right? In charge. Sometimes he's God the judge. Sometimes he's God the Father. Jesus speaks of that. We really get a handle on Jesus, and most Christians really feel closest to the Jesus part of God because he was actually human, right? He touched, he felt, he ate with us. We have his biographies written in the first 4 Gospels. We have explanations and expository preaching by Paul about who Jesus is based upon his revelation. And so when we think of Jesus, how many of you get a warm fuzzy? Almost all of us, don't we? When I was a little kid, I thought of Jesus was my friend, the good shepherd, the thing. God was kind of out there, you know. Kind of really saw him as more that father figure that kind of got down on me when I wasn't doing the right thing. But when it came to the Holy Spirit, I didn't have the ghosty thing, but, you know, when it came to the Holy Spirit, I'm thinking like, so who is this? Now, as we get to be older and we learn the Trinitarian thinking, we understand that the Holy Spirit is no different than Jesus and God, right? The character of God is the same. It is revealed through the different pieces of how we understand God, but the Holy Spirit's character is the same, and it's just that we can't see him. But we have had images, haven't we not? From the beginning, in Genesis, it says that the Spirit of God hovered over the earth. You get a vision of hovering? Can you kind of sense like when a big cloud comes in and covers that hovering, right? It also says that when Moses was taking the people out of Egypt, that the Spirit of God led them in the pillar of cloud by day and the pillar of fire by night, right? Kind of visualize that, don't we? We even know that in the Elijah story, in the Old Testament, the prophet who was looking for God, wanting to know, are you there, God? Reveal yourself. That he wasn't in the earthquake and in the fire and the wind. What was he in? That small whisper, and that was the Spirit, right? So sometimes when we think as Christians, well, the Spirit came at Pentecost, we forget about all those Old Testament teachings that say the Spirit of God was always present, just like Jesus was always present, right? In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. And in the beginning, the Word became human flesh and became a light to the world, right? We learned that in 1 John. And so we have this sense of God's character. The interesting part that I find is in the New Testament, John uses a lot of names for the Holy Spirit. Did you pick up on that? You read them, I read them. The Advocate. The Greek word that when they interpreted John is paraclete, which means the Holy Spirit, but there is other words that were about the Advocate, the Comforter, the Encourager, the Counselor. You can go to various translations, and all of those words are the same word for paraclete. It's just deciding which choice you have. Well, when you think of an advocate, what do you think of? Someone that's on your side, right? The advocate is someone that's going to help you. And when Jesus is referring to the disciples, when I leave, the advocate is going to come. He's going to help you what? Understand God, right? It's going to help you connect to that. The Comforter is going to what? What does a Comforter do? A Comforter makes you feel okay when everything's going bad. Does that mean that the Holy Spirit's only there in the good times? No, the Comforter, the Spirit is with you. The Encourager. Are you listening to some of the gifts that you have? Because some of you are great encouragers. You send cards and want to do nice things. The Encourager. It makes you get lifted up. The Counselor, the one that's going to give you this thing. Jesus says, the Wisdom Giver, the Spirit of Truth, will help us understand. When we talk about the Holy Spirit, we don't talk about a well-groomed guy with maybe long hair and a robe that did the miracles. We talk about what? The character of God. Do you see that? The Holy Spirit is the revealer of the character of God. And as And you know what? I'm going. In less than a few hours, he's going to be taken away. But I'm going, and you need to not worry, because the advocate, the counselor, the comforter is coming to reveal to you all truth. All right, there we go. The Holy Spirit. You got a sense of who the Holy Spirit is? Now, where does the Holy Spirit reside? Jesus says it will come and be within you. You see, before in the Old Testament, the Holy Spirit was God's Spirit hovering around, being present, working and telling people, this is what you need to do in various different ways, revealing God on the outside. But right now, Jesus says, I'm leaving so that you can be filled with the Holy Spirit. That when you believe in me, the Holy Spirit will come in and be that voice. All right? The voice. The voice of God that works in your heart and soul and mind to understand who God is. Now, when Paul gives you the Galatian text, he makes it pretty clear what the voice is and what the voice is not. Jesus says it's a battle. Paul says it's a battle between good and evil, right? And he says, where's the battle? Not in Afghanistan. Where's the battle? It's in you. Would you all agree that you are a battlefield? Every day, every morning, you get up and you make choices, do you not? Now we're getting downright personal here, Bruce. We're going to give it to you. Wham, bam, all right? He's been asking for some wham, bam, so here we go. Every morning you get up and you make a choice. What do you choose? Do you feed your body and your soul and your mind with things that will help take you forward to be a light to the world, to share who God is, to face the day and be prepared? Let's get real. Think about it in your mind. Do you? Or do you take the moment you get up is to take care of the physical needs, turn on the television to see what's happening in the news, and figure out who you're going to get even with that day? Who's been bothering you? Maybe you've even had a restless sleep because things aren't the way you think they should. That's the first step, is which voice starts the day with you. Because the voices, I don't see them as an angel and a devil. The voices are God's Spirit speaking